What is going on, Lakers family out there, man? We got a bunch of Lakers family tuning in. We got the Lakers Corner family. We got the Lakers Fast Break family. And we got my boy in the building today, man. We got my dog from the Lakers room. So we got all of his folks coming in too. But my dog, how you doing, bro? It's good to have you here with us.
Man, I'm doing good, bro. Doing good. Enjoying this beautiful Friday, man. TGIF, man. How you doing today?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. Very happy to have you here with us, brother. We're just gonna be just talking just some Lakers, off season. We'll talk about get your thoughts on JJ Redick's first season as coach, kind of how you thought that the season went. We'll definitely talk about some of these rumored trades that we've here been going around. We'll talk about the biggest name what we've been hearing all off season. And that's what's gonna happen with the big man. What's Lakers front office gonna do. So we'll get into all that. And for everybody that is here, we already got 5 people here with us, man. Appreciate all y'all being here. Y'all see right there on the bottom. Please go follow Lakers Corner and also follow. I'm gonna put my boys Lakers Room right now up there. But before we get into it, my boy, let me ask you one question. Before we get into all the offseason stuff, let's first start with your thoughts on how the season ended and us getting Luka, just kind of all that. Like, give me your thoughts on the season and how it went.
Yeah, well, in a nutshell, I'll say I'm not disappointed in the season. I mean, I feel like the outlook on the season, hindsight versus where the expectations went once the Lakers ended up shooting up to as high as the 2nd seed and obviously landing overall on the 3 seed, changed the expectations. And I feel like even after the Luka trade, a lot of the expectations were that it was a move for the future. But then, I mean, it was a lot of excitement stoked just from the way that the Lakers played. So overall, to say, because I can drag on, I felt good about the Lakers season. Better than I felt after Game 5 ended. After Game 5 ended against the Timberwolves, kind of felt like the end of the damn world. Like, man, like nothing's good going to happen for us. But then you sit back and reflect, and we just a couple pieces away. I'm not mad at ever sending the Mark Williams trade. I actually think JJ Redick had a hell of a season. His postseason, not so much. I do feel like he melted down a little bit around like Game 3 and Game 4 up in Minnesota, but you can't just take those 2 moments as a cataclysm for an entire season. So I would still give JJ Redick about an A for his performance. I'll take him over Darvin Ham any day.
Any day of the week, absolutely, bro. And I heard you say you don't want to drag on, but please do drag on, brother. We here just to talk some hoops, so please feel free. This is as much my platform as it is your platform, brother. We just talking hoops, man. But I'm in agreement with you, though, brother. Like, honestly, I felt like I think the way you put it is perfect. The way after the Timberwolves series, it was like the world was over. It was like, damn, like we were supposed to beat this team, and now we got popped at 5, and even the way we went out too, right? I mean, you touched on a little bit of like JJ Redick, like he had a really good regular season, and I know playoffs is a whole different beast, but I think there was a lot of mistakes he did in the playoffs, and I can't even hold it against him. Right, he's a first year head coach. Like playoffs is a whole different beast, but he had a lot of problems. But let me get your rating. So you said your rating for JJ Redick was about an 8 for that first season?
No, I would say about an A minus, maybe a B plus. But I do feel like for one, he's great X's and O's guys. You could see the synergy before LeBron went out with the groin injury against Boston. You could kind of see the IQ and synergy between him, Luka, and LeBron, and how much higher of a level it was than anybody else they was playing. I don't think they ever got back to the level that they was playing at, and I think that JJ Redick, like I said, in the playoffs, I do feel like he panicked a little bit and he got away from the chemistry that he built up and the trust, like in guys like Vando and Gabe Vincent and even Jordan Goodwin, who changed a lot of games for us. Like, if we was going to go out anyway, you might as well have went out with the chemistry. So now we can at least have a chance to keeping some of those guys, intact, invested, and, wanting to even be a part of the team. Because now we got to keep a combination of those guys. You know what I
mean? Absolutely. No, absolutely. I love the point that you brought up. And that's one of my, I think, biggest faults that I had with JJ in the playoffs is that he stopped trusting his bench. Like he just stopped trusting his bench. And, if you're going to run a 6 or 7 deep lineup and like only play 6, 7 players, like you better, all those players better be ready and on point. And I just don't think that our roster was built to, play 6, 7 deep. Like we should have we should have really gone into the bench a little bit more. But then that kind of leads me to our next our next segment here, or I guess next topic that we can cover on is like we didn't expect to get Luka midway through the season. So this is a two-part question. First, tell me your reaction of when we got Luka, and then the second part of the question is like, what do you think is the first step that we need to do as far as now building the team towards Luka? Because I feel like a lot of people don't realize that we didn't expect to get Luka at the beginning of the season. This team was built to be around LeBron and Anthony Davis because that's who we
Yep.
had. Once we got Luka, the whole dynamic switches. We need different players. We need different defenders. Like everything switches. And we weren't ready for that. It happened to us midway through the season. I heard Rob Pelinka in the exit interview said, I think the way he said it is like, we were trying to build like a spaceship while we were in space already. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard, right? It's hard to build a team when you're midway through the season. Now you got a transcending player that you got to build your team around, man. So talk to me, my boy, about, like I said, thoughts on when we got Luka, and what do you think, are some of the steps that we need to go as far as like building this team around Luka, and not so much as far as Anthony Davis and LeBron?
Yeah, definitely. And actually, I'll say real quick, going back to like what we were just talking about JJ Redick, it's so easy for whether it's media, fans, podcasts, whatever, for us to pick at straws and say, oh, this was a terrible move. Like how I call it a panic move. Let's say that game 4 ends up to where he plays everybody and they win the game, because really we lost to a couple crucial calls at the end of game 4. Then what's the rhetoric? What's the narrative if we win game 4? Now it goes from a panic move to a genius move. So I'll say that's why I still rate JJ Redick's season very highly, and I would never take away from JJ Redick's season. But as far as Luka Doncic, what was my reaction when we got Luka Doncic? First of all, I was off somewhere on a Saturday night watching a boxing match. I think it was David Benavidez or somebody like that. I'm watching a boxing match. I'm chilling. I get a call from my homeboy. He like, hey man, you're not gonna believe this at all, but it's almost like somebody died. It's like, you might want to sit down. He's like, hey, Luka Doncic, bro, just got traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. And I'm like, you full of it. You don't know what you're talking about. So first thing I do is go to ESPN. Like I said, it was Saturday night. I'm watching boxing, so I was very busy at the time. So I had to come back to it Sunday morning to kind of let it all sink in. And then I spent about the next 24 hours celebrating, because I know what type of pillar Luka Doncic is. I know what Luka Doncic's future is going to be. And yeah, I know Dallas going to get Cooper flagged, but there was no reason you ever get rid of a pillar like Luka. So I was shocked, man, and amazed. A little sad to see Anthony Davis go, but I mean, you trade a A++, or you're getting an A++ player for older, possibly A- player at this point in his career, and that's if he's healthy. So very happy. Now, as far as building around Luka, that's got to be the only move. I think you copycat what you see Dallas did to make it to the finals, especially on the defensive end. Luka, no, is never going to be a premier one-on-one defender. What you can do is hide him and let him use his court IQ to be a good help defender. And I've seen it happen time after time again. I haven't seen him do it in the Lakers uniform a little bit, but we don't have the same personnel. So my whole thing is, let's go out and get 2 solid bigs, but they got to be athletic. They got to be agile. They got to be rim running, and even obviously whatever they can give us on defense is huge too. But I don't want like a Mark Williams, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And let me show some love to the chat, man. My boy Daniel Berry in the chat, he said, happy Friday, brother. And y'all see right there on the bottom. If you guys don't know my boy from the Lakers room, make sure you go follow him on Instagram. It's right, his @ handles right here on the bottom. So make sure y'all go show some love. And we just, just talking about some, Lakers off season, Lakers last season. If y'all have any questions or comments in the chat, please do throw it in the chat. Right now we have 10 people in here with us, man. So appreciate all y'all being here. Juan Stockton, he's always coming through. Appreciate you being here. And then funny enough, because our guy Joe Sora, right? So he said, what the hell is this? So Joe is someone I do the live streams with here on this channel, right? And we were actually on the live stream together when this Luka Doncic trade happened, because it was right after that Knicks game, man. What's up, JSJ? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for hopping on here. But I'm gonna get to your question right now, JSJ. Let me just say this real quick. So me and Joe, we were on the stream together, and bro, we were doing the post-game stream because it was after the Knicks game. And then like reports started hitting, and we didn't even believe it at first, bro. We swear we didn't even believe it. And I'm gonna be 100% honest. There's actually a video out there on the channel where I had a reaction where I was like, bro, we got worse. Because in my mind, like immediately, I'm like, bro, like Luka Doncic and LeBron are the same type of player. So like first thought I had was like, bro, like, yeah, we got a trend-setting superstar, but like this has nothing to do with the way we've been building our team. Like LeBron needs AD needs LeBron. Like we got worse, but God was I wrong
You had lost
about
your
that.
mind that night.
Yeah, I had lost
I was celebrating. I'm what? Pour one right now. No, I already knew because even if you gotta let go and sacrifice this season, which we kind of did, but at the end of the day, how much further will we have really? Let's say we beat Minnesota with AD. And that's if he makes it through that. That's if he makes it through the regular season and postseason healthy, which didn't happen in Dallas. But anyway, scratch that. Luka Doncic is a game controller. Anthony Davis, man, don't get me wrong. Even when he had his best games, he still might not hit a mid-range jumper, and he's taken a lot of them. So there's nothing wrong with not being able to hit them, but he just doesn't even have the efficiency. And then what he does on the defensive end does not make up for what Luka does on the offensive end. Luka is a game controller. He's a playmaker. He moved that thing around on a string. Anthony Davis, there's no comparison there. No, there's none. None at all. So yeah.
So after some time it went by, I came to my senses and I'm like, okay, like with Luka Doncic, not only, is our future taken care of, because we were so worried about like, what's going to happen post LeBron? What's going to happen post LeBron? I think we all knew Anthony Davis isn't the type of player to carry a team by himself. So we're like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And now getting Luka is amazing. But my boy, we are getting some questions here. So let's go ahead and
get to the first question. That's a good question.
Let me see. With LeBron, what is the best possible lineup next season? My boy, I'm gonna go ahead and let you take this one. I don't know if you want to take this one first.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's crazy to think because I don't want to lose Austin Reeves whatsoever. I'm hoping that we keep Austin Reeves. And don't get me wrong, Austin Reeves is one of the best two guards in the NBA already. Hands down, no questions asked. But I feel like the best personnel next year is to have Austin Reeves coming off the bench. And if we have Rui still, also move Rui to the bench. Now, obviously, I feel like we're probably going to lose Rui and getting someone like Nick Claxton and Daniel Gafford. However, the trade package that I threw out there, even though it's not the most attractive, I do really believe that, for one, the Mavericks need to re-sign Lively, which I think Gafford's going to be more available than people realize. Dalton Connect plugs in with the Mavericks perfectly. Dalton Connect is the young scorer still with high value. You know what I mean? Gabe Vincent is a shooter. You got in expiring contracts, especially when it's a fan favorite like Maxi Kleber, and then you got a first round pick. That's attractive enough to land somebody like a Gafford. But anyway, so yeah, I would say the lineup would be something like obviously LeBron's going to start. Obviously Luka's going to start. I would say hopefully it's going to be a Gafford or a Claxton. Then I would start DFS. I feel like Dorian Finney-Smith has to start, or for the fact that we got so much offense on the bench, if we keep Vando, maybe even Vando can start. Because what we don't have with anybody else is what Vando gave on the defensive end last year. I seen some of that scrappiness out of Jordan Goodwin. And Maxi is wise. It's not wanting him back. It's about the expiring contract that makes it attractive. Yeah, no, they're definitely good on Maxi Kleber. But yeah, so I would say a combination of that, and then maybe one more. What is that for? LeBron, Luka, whoever our potential center is going to be, and then either DFS and Vando. But it can't be DFS and Vando. Mm-hmm. The fifth one is going to be up because maybe if we keep Rui, maybe that still could be Rui. You know what I mean? But I mean, I don't know, because it's like, do we still go out and look for, like, let's say maybe a smaller guard or something like that? Because Luka controls the game, but he's a big point guard. You know what I mean? So
right.
Yeah, that's the only thing. No. I'm just focused on the center position, really.
Absolutely. And JSJ, brother, thank you for the question. That was a great question. And we it's kind of one that's kind of hard to give a definitive answer to, just because we don't know if Austin's staying.
Yeah.
We're almost sure Rui's gone, to be honest, if we want to get something of value. And so it's just kind of a lot of moving parts right now, but definitely a great question, JSJ. And if you have any more, please do drop any more questions in the chat. But my boy, I want to bring up another question that we have here from Rodell. Rodell, he's always here on the streams. He's always showing love. So good to see you, Rodell. Happy you to be here, brother. But let me ask you a question. So this is one thing that he's mentioned a lot here on the stream. Like, he's voiced his opinion that he's not that big of a fan for Luka Doncic, right? I mean, like he respects his
Yeah.
game, right? But he always talks about like how he's gotten targeted, he gets targeted on the defensive end, which in
Hmm.
my opinion, when the Celtics won a championship, I said this a million times, and I said the reason the Celtics won a championship is because the Celtics had 5 players that could switch 1 through 5. Nobody was like
Yeah.
targeted on the defensive end. While the Mavs, they had Luka, and every single time the Celtics were getting a switch on Luka and attacking, getting a switch on Luka and attacking, and then you're just playing closeouts, and then teams are
Hmm.
just trying to recover. So like this is one of my biggest problems, right? But then again, one thing I have said is at the same time, like Luka Doncic is a motherfucking like generational, amazing basketball
Oh
player.
yeah.
Sometimes
Better believe it.
you got to take the bad with the good. And that's where I'm at with Luka. But our guy Riddell, he's not that much with taking the bad with the good. So I guess I wanted to ask you is in the sense of like maybe you don't have to list a player, but like, do you have concerns about us, actually being able to win a championship with a player that is kind of always getting targeted on the defensive end?
No, 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 not at all. And especially because, well, let's take it back to the Mavs specifically. Like, let's take it back to the 2023, 2024 Mavs that made it to the
Mhm.
finals. At the end of the day, the Mavs wasn't supposed to be in the finals whatsoever, but they had the personnel to. At the end of the day, the Western Conference to make it to the finals through the Western Conference is outrageously impressive.
Right.
Outrageously impressive. Not a lot of teams was about to beat Boston in 2024. The Boston Celtics were world beaters in 2024. Did the league catch up to them in 25 a little bit? Yeah, sure. Maybe they ran out of gas a little bit. Yeah, sure. But I guarantee whoever they would have played in the NBA Finals, they would have probably exposed them no matter what. Now, what Luka Doncic did to make it to the finals, I think is more important to look at that. A 3 series sample versus 1 series in the finals against Boston, which they never truthfully even belonged in the first place. Now, at the end of the day, you still can't be getting targeted on defense. Absolutely not. Now, that's where it's all personnel. What Dallas did to make it to the Lakers, and the Lakers are already more, not more cohesive, but definitely more stacked. And now they got a second year of continuity and chemistry. If we get the right personnel, and then we might not be able to hide him at all times, he's going to have to do something, or he's going to have to be that help defender that I've seen him be. Go look at the game we actually played against the Mavericks this year. That kind of is a perfect sample of what Luka personnel when he can just read the gaps, and you'll see Luka get 4 steals. Like he's not a great defender, but if you can hide him on with the right personnel, he can at least be helpful. We just couldn't do that this year. Now against the Celtics, okay, but they shouldn't have been there in the first place, So you got to look at the fact, and that's his second Western Conference Finals in 5 years. That's more than we've been in the last, or we've been in 2 because we won. But he's been in the same amount as we have in the last year, and we had LeBron James. So obviously, building around Luka is not that terrible of an idea. And how many other players have been to two conference finals in the last 3-4 years? Luka Doncic is one of them. So clearly, building around him is not a bad idea, because to make a run like that means you had a very impressive season. So I do say, yeah, he got picked on versus Celtics, but I don't knock him for making it to the finals. That's crazy.
Absolutely, absolutely. So then you the point you brought up is something that I agree with, right? I think what we should do with Luka is exactly what the Warriors did with Stephen Curry when they went on that run, where with Klay Thompson being out there, that allowed Curry to hide a lot on the defensive end, right? To where because now he's bulked up, now he's gotten a little bigger, but you remember in like 2014, 2015, 2016 when they went on those runs, he was a defensive liability every single time. And I mean, so much so that Kyrie hit that sidestep, got the switch on him, and they hit the sidestep on him because they felt best about that matchup. But I say all that to say, like, I think one of our priorities besides, getting the big has got to be to try to get a really good, elite two that can play the defense that we can hide Luka. And like how you said, we're not going to be able to hide Luka all the time because sometimes
Mm-mm.
I play teams like OKC that just got 5 players that can switch 1 through 5, can do everything, or or the Celtics when they won a championship last year, right? So we're not always going to be able to hide them, but it's as long as in stretches, if you can try to hide him sometimes, and I think that's what you do. And then to your point about the defense that he played against Dallas, that's my only gripe with Luka is I feel like he's great, but like there's times where he just doesn't give that effort. Cause like I play basketball. Defense is effort. Like defense is, how much
Yeah,
do you want to, how much of that dog do you have in you? And granted, like there's things that can help you on the defensive end, like if you have quick feet or if you're light on your feet, like those things will help you on the defensive end. But it's like at the end of the day, it's how much do you want and how much dog do you got? And I feel like there's times where Luka just picks and chooses when he wants to bring that dog. And if we are going to want to win our championship, one, I think we're going to have to get that player that can hide him. But two, he's going to have to bring that dog energy every single night, in my opinion.
for sure. No, for sure. But I mean, and that's the thing. Like, we have such like, for one, I feel like media runs most of the NBA now. So half of even the most qualified person's take is be somewhat tainted by just what you hear day in and day out. You know what I mean? But what I will say is, after Luka came to the Lakers had about a 20-game sample size where they were the number one defensive team in the NBA. Luka wasn't not playing. You know what I mean? And that's 1/4 of the season. That's not a small sample size. Like I said, I feel like they lost chemistry more than anything. Like even when they beat OKC on that Sunday and they blew OKC out, and then they ended up losing to OKC after Luka got ejected, it wasn't the same team as that 8-game stretch when we finished it off by beating the Knicks and losing to Boston. Those were two totally different teams, leaning on scoring versus leaning on scrappiness, defense, and really hard and effort, like you said. Like, so yeah, I did see some of that go away. And Luka, he's gonna have to bring out the dog, like simple and plain. Whether he's playing center field, whether they got him hiding, playing free safety. Yeah, we can't see any of that like nonchalantness. I do see that sometimes, and I don't like that. But we're gonna have to figure that out personnel wise. But I wanted to say something. I seen a chat in there about the Mavericks. He said something about the Mavericks belong last year. The Mavericks shouldn't have. The Mavericks weren't supposed to beat OKC last year, or they weren't supposed to beat Minnesota last year. Did they? Absolutely. Were they expected to? No.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And is there any comment you want to bring up, brother? Let me know and I can put it here on the screen. And we do have 12 people in here with us right now. So appreciate all y'all being here. Please do drop questions or comments in the chat. Joe Soro in the house, bro. Good to see you, Joe. But let me ask you a good question that we got here from, I believe his name is Trevon James. He said, is Claxton worth a first round pick? I personally don't think so. But
no,
I also, man, I'm gonna tell you what, brother. In my opinion, if you are gonna be a liability at the free throw line, like I just think that it can get. We've seen it so much in this playoffs. How many times have we seen just hack a Shaq or hack a whatever, right? And they end up going to the line. Then sometimes players end up getting played off the court just simply of not being able to do, knock down that free throw consistently, especially because like. If it's going to be Claxton, I mean, whatever big it's going to be, they're going to be getting the ball a lot from that lob from Luka or on the rolls from Luka. They're going to be getting the ball a lot. So in my opinion, like I kind of want a player that I feel confident, making decisions in the short roll. I want a player that can even 70% and maybe 75% from the free throw line, but I believe Claxton's like 66 or something like that, so lower. But in my opinion, no. But I mean, shit, I could be wrong. Tell me what you think.
I think, and I'll say two things can be true. Maybe he's not. Is it for the Lakers? They're going to have to give it up. But I like I said, I'm truthfully leaning more towards, I would like a package of Gafford and grabbing Steven Adams. I would rather see something like that, truthfully. But because I don't feel like we need, as far as rim threats, him and Gafford and Luka, they got the chemistry already. Like, and then Steven Adams would be, I don't know if Steven Adams had such a good showing with the Rockets in the playoffs. I don't know his value anymore. So I can't even say if we can just go pick him up on like some minimum or anything like that.
For real.
At this point, I don't know how old Steven Adams is no more. I thought he was 45. The man like 30, 31 years old. But okay. But yeah, no, so anyways, I don't know. It's actually, you gotta bring me back. Where was we at right now?
No, I was asking you about Claxton. If you feel like Claxton's worth that.
Oh, yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Leverage is everything. The Lakers don't have a lot of leverage right there right now. We need a center. So if Claxton is what we got to get and they want a first round pick, we're going to have to come up off that first round pick. But more than that, our goal next year, not our goal, our like standing next year is to compete. So yeah, first round pick sound great in trade talks and draft talks and all this, or not draft talks, but trade talks and all this. But what's it going to be worth if we make it to the Western Conference Finals next year?
Right? No, that's real shit. And JSJ, I'm gonna get to your question. JSJ want me to answer his question about Slim Lucas. So I believe this is the question you were talking about, brother. So if it's a different one, let me know. But honestly, I'll kick this one off and then you can go right after. But my expectations for Slim Luca, brother, is him coming into season into shape. I think one of the biggest things that we've seen Luca every single year is that he gets like out of shape in the off season, and then he takes like training camp or a little bit before training camp to get into shape. And then like, as season goes on, he rattles up and gets him more in shape. But I think Slim Luca coming into this season is going to mean like him already coming into that training camp in shape. Also, being able to run more. So, right. So more endurance, being able to be out there longer, because if we don't get that, that two guard that can, play some defense, then Luka's going to have to sit down. Like Luka's going to have to sit down and play some great defense. That's going to take some effort out of him. So, being slim is going to save some energy. So that's where I think, he's going to come into season in shape, and then it's going to help him for his, as far as him getting fatigue and him just playing more minutes, honestly, in my opinion. And because, if we get rid of Austin Reeves, Luka might have to make every decision every single time down court, to be real with you. So what are your expectations for Slim Luka this next season?
I feel like Luka's body of work has kind of showed us what he's heading towards. What's Luka in? Will this be his 7th or 8th season he's going into?
7th season, I believe. Yep.
7th season he's going to. Man, he's having the damn Michael Jordan side correct trajectory in his first 7 years. 5 first team All NBA, or is it 6 at this point? First team All NBA. He's couple Western Conference Finals. Like, he was chopping up the Clippers like his first and second year in the league. Like, I think we so far into the media era where it's like, oh, they ain't winning championship, they trash. This man is putting up supernova numbers. The only legit gripe that I hear is the one-on-one defense and the not having a dog. Other than that, look, he said 8th season. Yeah, other than that, I think Luka is right where he needs to be. He might end up, what year was it where LeBron won his first? Was it his 9th?
I think it was his 9th season.
I think it was his 9th. So if Luka win his first next year, how far off is he? I think Luka's doing great, is all I'm saying. So my expectations for Slim Luka is the same thing that Luka's been doing his whole career. The bigger question is, how are the Lakers going to build around him? Are we going to have the personnel to actually make a deep run? Is Luka going to stay healthy? That's another thing. Like, sometimes Luka might just fall off and be injured for a minute. Is LeBron going to stay healthy? These are the questions I got. I feel like, if anything, a lot of questions need to be tailored toward what's going to happen with LeBron. You know what I mean? Like, because LeBron is all world supernova. Like, we had that game 3 against the Timberwolves. LeBron throwing that thing in from everywhere. Can't miss, killing 38 points. By the end of the fourth quarter, he has nothing left. You know what I mean? So those are the bigger questions for me. Luka's going to be Luka. He's going to tear stuff up. At this point, I don't know so much of what LeBron's going to give us. I don't know so much of, what the rest of the team is going to be built around him. But I think that Luka is a great first piece towards the championship. Anybody disagrees with that? I don't know what to say.
I don't know what you're doing, to be honest with you. No, I feel you, bro. I feel you. Right now, we got 17 people in here. Appreciate everybody being in here. Make sure you guys show love to my boy from the Lakers room. His @ handle is right there on the bottom. My @ handle and his is right there. So make sure you guys go show some love. But let's keep it pushing here, my brother. I want to get to a question that I had missed earlier in the stream here. And this is a good segue to a next topic after this. But in your opinion, like, who is the perfect star? So, like, I guess throw out like realistics out of your mind, I guess. But who to you is the perfect star to put next to Luka?
The perfect star to put next to Luka with, like, no injury history or nothing like that. We just doing whatever we want to do out there. It's crazy because now I'd probably say somebody like Anthony Edwards or Giannis, probably. But Giannis like to have the ball too much. But if Giannis came off the ball and just decided to have some fun with Luka, oh, they'll be tearing shit up.
Right, bro? That's what I'm saying, bro. Honestly, in my opinion, it's got to be Giannis, right? Like, Giannis, and the only way this trade happens, and I know, like, a lot of people, as soon as I mention the name Giannis, like, it's never going to happen. But honestly, it's not as far-fetched as everybody thinks it is, because for a couple reasons, right? First being that Giannis has said on multiple occasions, like, yo, if Milwaukee isn't putting me in a position to win, like, I just want to win and I want to go somewhere to win, right? you having Luka Doncic on your team is a great starting piece to show Giannis, hey, we're serious about winning. We're trying to
For
do
sure.
something. And then can you imagine a pick and roll with Giannis and Luka? Like I just talked about somebody being able to make decisions out of the short roll. What the fuck? Giannis can make great decisions out of the short roll. Giannis can be a great lob threat. He can even hit that little midi. So it'd be great. And more than anything, I say this, man, like the same way Anthony Davis came to the Lakers. I don't know if you remember, but remember how AD was like, I'm going to the Lakers and that's it. I'm dead set on the Lakers, right? And then we
Yeah,
had
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Lonzo, Josh Hart, BI, and those, granted, those were good players at the time, but I still don't think that was like a comparable package for Anthony Davis. But the only reason why it was comparable is because the Pelicans had no leverage. Anthony Davis said, I want to go to the Lakers and that's it. So, and if Giannis is kind of, gets that through his head, because think about it, bro, like you could play next to Luka, you could come cement yourself in NBA history. Like anybody that wins a championship in the Lakers uniform is cemented in NBA history, like period. I don't
That's
care
a
how
fact.
many haters there are out there. When the Lakers win a championship, when those big market teams win a championship, it's for forever ingrained. And I think that if Giannis, if we can sell him on the make the most money you ever have off the court, because come on, come to LA, all this, commercials, movies, all this and all that, make the most money you can off the court, be able to be cemented in NBA history, come play next to a transcendental generation star like Luka, bro. Honestly, that's a perfect fit. Do I think it's gonna happen? I don't think so, but shit, a man could dream though. A man could dream.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta disagree with you on that one. That one's a dream for me. I do believe Giannis wants to come, so you got me sold on that. I do believe Giannis would love to be in LA or maybe New York, maybe a big market. I don't know. And he would kill it over there because you see how international stars do when they get into a big market. But okay, the Anthony Davis trade. Who else was in there? Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Larry Nance Jr., and who else? Was that it?
And then it was two picks. One of them is a 2025 first round pick, and then another one is a pick from 2023 that turned into Dyson Daniels.
Okay, all right. So listen to this, right? All right. So those Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball. Obviously, we see what happened in hindsight with Lonzo Ball, and Josh Hart. So you now take away Luka, take away LeBron. You got Austin Reeves, and who we adding to that package? I guess we need them to fall in love with Austin Reeves in order for that to work.
It's absolutely got to be Austin Reeves. I think, honestly, in my opinion, bro, you throw the motherfucking kitchen sink at him. You say whoever and whatever except Luka and LeBron. Besides that, it's yours. Like it's yours, in my opinion, for a player like. And we're talking Giannis, right? We're still talking Giannis.
But Austin not getting paid enough yet, so it wouldn't even work. It wouldn't even work. We can't even put Austin in the trade. So now take away Austin Reeves. Well, they're not taking a package of none of what we got.
They ain't taking none of that.
And Nico Harrison is not getting hired by the Bucks tomorrow. So yeah.
Sure, real shit. Hold on. Let me grab some right here. Just want to show some love to Chris, the art director. He's right here in the chat. He had sent me this pillow, man. So make sure y'all go check out his page, man. Drip Show. Makes great, he has a pillow, he has hats, he has all type of merch, man. So just want to show some love to Chris, the art director, great guy. But man, no, I'm right there with you, brother. If we got Giannis, it'd be great. But we're talking about, we're talking about Austin Reeves. So you mentioned you want to keep Austin Reeves, and me too. But one of the things that I know is that if we want to get a really good start, we're going to have to give up our biggest bait. And I think our biggest bait is Austin Reeves, in my opinion. But I've heard some people say he's an untouchable. To them. To you, is he untouchable? Or I guess where does that
nowhere near untouchable. I want to keep him, but untouchable is crazy. I do want to keep him, though, because for one, I don't see what we're going to get better than Austin Reeves. For two, I feel like we can get a big man without moving off of Austin Reeves, because it makes no sense to trade Austin Reeves for Nick Claxton, Daniel Gafford, or none of them guys, truthfully. You know what I mean? Yeah. But sorry, my light cut off for a second.
Are you good?
But what I will say though is Bill Simmons said he's gonna get traded. If it's something worthwhile, if we get a center, and I know he's a free agent, so it would be a sign trade. I would give up Austin Reeves for Miles Turner and Nimhart. You know what I mean?
You trying to play him?
Yeah, but truthfully, that's not really if you need a player like Austin Reeves, are you looking for that? He's better than them. You know what I mean? It's just that we need to fit. We should have traded for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield though back when we traded for
Right,
Westbrook.
right, bro.
That's another story.
That's bro. Miles Turner before the Pacers went on, even the run that they went on last year, but he was in the trade rumors every single year, bro. We should have went after a player like that. Like that's
We legit had a package. We legit had a package for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, but we said no. We wanted Russell Westbrook.
Yep, man. Oh man, that don't get me going on our front office. But Hassan here, hey, I guess I don't disagree. I mean, I would take KD, but I wouldn't give up a whole bunch for KD at this point. I mean, I would take him though. I for sure take him. How do you feel about that?
I ain't gonna lie. The funny thing, Hassan, I started thinking about that the other day. I ain't gonna give it too much thought, but I started thinking about KD the other day because I seen just
he's
going somewhere
for
sure. I just don't like. Damn, do you give up? You don't. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. KD is rough.
One. That's tough because like that's a crazy superstar generational player, but at the same time like he doesn't fit the exact need that we have right now. And I in my opinion, I always say you go for fit. Always go for fit. But I mean, KD is a great generational superstar. So
I think the Pacers and them are proven. Go and bro, that's kind of why I'm on what I'm on. I want the Lakers to keep as much as the team together as possible because at the highest chemistry, I've seen what it could be last year. So it's like one more year building onto that, and we know where we need to sell up the personnel. I don't want to blow it up and have 6 different faces next year. I'd rather keep it together. The Pacers been playing together for 4 years straight. That's why they beating everybody.
Right.
The Thunder too. That's why they beating everybody. Like it's going back almost to the old NBA or how it should be. Like, and it's showing you a team develops through chemistry, experience, and obviously a lot of teams have to lose before they got to win. But if you blow your team up, you're gonna just keep trying to relearn each other, keep trying to relearn a new system. You fire a coach, we got to relearn a new offense. Look what Rick Carlisle and these guys are doing. Like that, I want some continuity.
Yeah, honestly, bro, I think that's one of the biggest problems with the Lakers, to be real with you, is I think like they're so focused, and I think this starts with a deeper issue, which is Jeanie Buss and the way that they run this team is that they run this team like a real business that's just trying to be profitable, not an NBA team that's trying to go out and win a championship. Because a lot of the times, like they want to be in the news headlines. They always want to be making big moves because news headlines means TV time. TV time means money, and that's all great for Jeanie, right? And I think that like what the Lakers need to do is exactly what you said, like focus on continuity, bro. I mean, like almost every single year on the Lakers, there's some type of turnover. There's some type of like something going on, whether it's like coaching personnel or player personnel, like, but there's always something. And to your point, like, the Pacers, OKC, bro, like, and you could even, look at the Celtics, for the past year, and just teams that put it together, like they've been through it together. They failed together so that they learn how to win together. But the Lakers never really kind of get a chance to do that because there's always just so much turnover. But my boy, I'm gonna go ahead and put up this comment here for you. But Verdell said, I'm not sure Reeves is better than Nembhard. Nembhard is a much better defender than AR. Nembhard's a dog, and he is the 4th option. How do you feel about that? I'm gonna let you take this one.
Nembhard's a dog, great defender. He's having a great postseason, but nah, he's not better than Austin. Or you say he's not sure. He didn't say Nembhard was better. Reeves is a better player than Nembhard.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people, I'm be honest, are forgetting. I think a lot of people are forgetting like the type of player Austin Reeves is. Like, if I'm not tripping, didn't he put up like a 40 ball earlier in the season or something 45,
like that? But he been doing stuff like that since like 2023. When we beat the Warriors, in 2023, when they were the defending champions, you can put a lot of that square on Austin Reeves. You know what I mean? When we lost to Denver, Austin Reeves was damn near just as good as LeBron. Like the showings that Austin Reeves has put on in the playoffs over 2023 and 2024. If you think Andrew Nembhard or if you think Nembhard could have done that, that's crazy. But what I will say is right now, the Pacers they looking great, man. I still got the Thunder, which I don't want to get into all that right now, but or we can if you want to. But yeah, man, he's a great fit and he's having a great playoff run. And Austin Reeves had a bad playoff run. Austin Reeves also had a great season. Great season. Or I ain't gonna say great, but a really, really, really good, really, really good season. Only 27-7 and effortless. Like Austin Reeves was he had the ball on a string last year. He
right?
didn't have a good playoffs though. So I mean, if we just
Yeah.
going off the Timberwolves series, then yeah, Austin Reeves overrated.
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree that I think Nimhard's a better defender. Like I'll give him that. But as far as just like a better overall player, in my opinion, I would still personally still go Austin Reeves, especially because like this season, like one thing I noticed is that his role was like up and down, right? So like if for whatever reason, like LeBron just took a rest game or Luka wasn't playing that game, now Austin Reeves is best player, primary ball handler, make everything happen. And then if the following game LeBron plays or Luka plays, now, he drops down to that second or third option. So, just constantly like switching your role night over night. I think that's a tough thing that a lot of people don't really don't really realize that he had to deal with this offseason. But yeah, I mean, one thing I know is that Austin Reeves he's that guy. And I just think a lot of people have gotten, prisoners mentality, like prisoners of the moment mentality.
Yeah.
To where you're just like you just forgot about what he did, and much credit to Andrew to Nimhard, but me personally, I'm taking Austin Reeves, but I respect it, Riddell. I respect
No,
your
for sure. I mean, fit wise, yeah, for sure. Fit wise, easily. Nimhart right now, especially on a championship team, you seeing that happen. You know what I mean? So I won't even try to argue that down. But if you was starting a team and you was a GM and you was like, oh, I can pick Reeves or I can pick Nimhart, and you didn't have the rest of the Lakers and the rest of the Pacers, and you take them, then yeah, I don't know what to say.
yeah, and I mean, hey, my boy, right now it looks like we alone on the island because the chat not agreeing with us, but it's all
Yeah, I
good.
mean, it don't sound good. It don't sound good at all. It don't sound good at all. Like he just said, Reeves had a terrible last three playoffs. I'm over here going through the 2024 first three games of the series against Denver. Reeves 19, 21, 22 on 54% shooting, 46, 47% shooting. The only bad game he had was game 4. And that's the game we won. But and I will go back and look at the 2023 playoffs, but I remember vividly what he did to the Grizzlies. I remember vividly what he did to the Warriors, and I remember how he played against the Nuggets. But we go look it up and we just want to see.
Yeah, hey, real shit. Hey, I love that. Hey, one thing I always say, my boy, is look, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. And you just brought up the numbers, man. And the numbers are there. And to Brian's point, Brian mentioned that Reeves is not better than Nimhard, and he hasn't shown it in the finals. But I mean, has he even?
Oh wait, he said you want to hear the plus and minus. Hold on.
Go ahead, talk to me.
This is 3 games that the Lakers lost. Austin Reeves was +1 in the game that they lost. +1 in game 2 that they lost. And then he was a -4 in the game that they lost also. And they lost all of these games. 2 of those he was plus, which means he was one of the Lakers' best players that series. And they lost 4-1. I hate even bringing up the Nuggets and Lakers series. I don't even know I'm looking at that shit. That shit had me not sleeping good in 2024 or 2023. I don't want to talk about it no more, bro.
Hey, I feel you. The boys had us in a chokehold for a little bit, bro. It was crazy.
I hate the Nuggets. Not hate it because I don't hate nothing, but man, the Nuggets, like the Timberwolves, don't irk me as much as the Nuggets. Obviously, Lakers fans, we always don't get along with Clippers fans, but the Nuggets are at the very top of my shit list right now. The very top, for sure, bro.
Man, fuck the Nuggets. I'm right there with you. And let me see. He said facts. It seems like over the last 4 years, Lakers are more focused. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been longer than 4 years that they're just Genie's only focused on that. And this is a whole other thing we don't got to get into, but I think a reason why Genie does this is because, like, if you look at other NBA owners around the league, a lot of them like have like other businesses, like, that Steve Ballmer guy from the Clippers, like, bro used to be like the owner of Microsoft or whatnot. So he has other like venues where he makes money or he has money. This is all the Buss family has. Like, this is a passed down family business.
That's a good take.
So a lot of the times it's like they don't want to go into the luxury tax. They don't want to go into their own pockets because this is all that they got. Like, this is how they make money for their family. And granted, I'm not saying that they're going to go broke and be homeless, but I'm just saying they want to stay above that green line and want to.
Yeah, no. You're right, bro. And I like that you view things like that, because some people just look at people in Hollywood or this and be like, oh, they got endless money, or not even Hollywood, but like just say owners of a team or somebody with. But they also might be leveraging assets and real estate and this, that, and the third. And then somebody like Steve Ballmer, he's just rich. He can just do what he wants.
Rich. He's just like, take it. Yeah. He's just rich. Real
but
shit.
Yeah, no, there's a difference. I like that you're cognizant of that, because there's a huge difference.
There is absolutely a huge difference of teams that's willing to spend. And I don't know what Smith is saying here in the chat, but he might be a troll. We get a lot of trolls around here, my brother. So
no, you good.
disregard troll if that is a troll. But anyway, let's see here. He said Lakers have an excellent trade relationship with Brooklyn. Rob probably already have a deal made, just waiting to deadline to start. Hey, that'd be for Claxton, right? Yeah, clear. Claxton's
That's a good. No, that's a great take. Great take, and he's right. He's right, and that's another business thing. Like a lot of people forget that it's all a business. You know what I mean? And when you have a relationship with one GM, or even if it's the ownership group, then it's a trade happens a lot faster versus you got an ex owner who doesn't know such and such, and the leverage can be like not as much because it's like, oh, we just like what happened with Luka Doncic, and come on now, he's not available. The Lakers would not have got Luka Doncic if you just made him available to everybody. He would have went to another team.
Right? Real shit, bro. Real shit. There's not a lot of teams in the league that like helping out the Lakers. I'll be honest with you. They like screwing over the Lakers. But all right, brother. So if we have more questions or comments in the chat, please do drop some. And if you have anything you want to talk about, brother, please feel free to bring it up. You got some, or if not,
no, I only had one question, just because this is the first time I really got to chop it up with you. Just want to get some of your Lakers fanhood history, because it's great sometimes being a Laker fan, and then sometimes it's fucking terrible, or excuse me, sometimes it's terrible. I just want to know, like, what's your life experience? How did you become a Lakers fan? Who's your all-time favorite Laker player?
Yep. So me personally, I've been a Lakers fan literally my whole life. Bro. I have a picture of me when I was 1 year old with my big brother and my dad at a Lakers game I had a Kobe jersey and my brother had a Shaq jersey, and we got a little hat. So I've been a Lakers fan like literally my whole life, bro. And like one of the biggest reasons I got into like being a Lakers fan is because of my brother and just like being around it. And then really I need to widen the camera here. I don't know how to widen the camera, but if I can my camera right there. You see that guy right there. You see.
Oh yeah.
Dang, man. Like honestly, bro, I remember as a kid, like being literally mesmerized by Kobe Bryant, bro. Like pause. Like not no weird shit, but like watching him hoop. Like I was like, damn, like his footwork is crazy. And I used to literally go outside and I would try.
You're awesome.
Somebody just gifted a membership, so I appreciate y'all. But like I would literally try those fadeaways or his jab and then pump fake and then he goes.
You're awesome.
Like, I was literally like mesmerized with Kobe, and that's what got me to fall in love with the basketball, Lakers, and then from then on it kept rolling. But what about you, brother?
You're awesome.
Oh, hey, wait, real quick. You said you hoop too, right?
Yeah. I've hooped my whole life, bro. I hooped my whole life.
You like through high school, like college,
through high school and then college. Then my daughter was born in my life, turned upside down, bro.
What, point guard or?
Yeah, my whole life been.
That's cool, man. I've always been into basketball, bro, and don't ever repeat this. None of y'all in this chat bet not either. I could never hoop to save my life, bro. I could shoot, I could stand still shoot, but once we start dribbling or doing anything, bro, I was always a football player. But I always been in love with the Lakers since I was probably like 5-6 years old, bro. Definitely Kobe Bryant for sure. It was like the early Proby, like Kobe, you know what I mean? So I could run off all Kobe's stats up until damn day he retired from when he was like his third, fourth year in the league. Like I read the book Showboat, I read the book 3 Ring Circus. I used to do book reports, but then it turned me into a huge Laker fanatic to where I started going back, learning about Jerry West, learning about Kareem. Like Jerry West don't even get enough love when it comes to the Laker GOAT debate. Learn about Kareem, learn about Magic. I read the Showtime book. This everything. Like I just kind of immerse myself in the culture of the Lakers. I go to the parade when they win. You know what I mean? So like I love it. It's something that I always do. I would write articles about the Lakers if I was the only person reading them. Like
real shit
like that.
Real shit, bro. Honestly, bro, like you know it's crazy. So like the reason why I started this whole like Lakers corner page is because of like my love that I have for the Lakers, bro. And shit, my girl don't want to hear it. She not trying to hear all this, all this Laker talk, bro. So like, to have, people like you and everybody in the chat that I could like just talk hoops with, and like we didn't even know each other, but because of the bond that we have of being Lakers fans, bro, like now, we tight, we locked in now type shit. Yeah. Like that's honestly one of my favorite things as well too, is like the community in it, bro. It's just like a lot of people that you don't know each other. We in different places of the world, but you feel so locked in over the bond of like, loving your team. So man, I'm right there with you, bro. I'm right there with you. And one thing I will say, bro, is like, I hate the NBA players that be like, oh, unless you played, basketball, unless you play in the NBA, you can't talk basketball. That shit is so annoying, bro. Like I hate when like Shaq, he always be like, oh, G14 classification, like you gotta win the championship to talk about it. I think that's dumb. So like one thing I wanted to
Shaq
tell
only
you,
say
bro,
that when his brain stopped computing.
right?
You can
Right?
watch Shaq and see like when it get analytical or whatever, he switched to insecure mode and just start trying to insult people. Like, and I met people in my life like that. I love Shaq. I got an LSU Shaq jersey. Shout out to Shaq.
Real shit.
Shaq don't get enough love in the GOAT debate, but yeah, man, we building
Real
a community, man. I love it, and I'll say this, bro. Like by the time next season start, we're gonna figure out a way so we can get it with the insiders. Like
shit, bro.
I started my old podcast, bro. Started building some relationships. I look up, I'm interviewing Master P. I'm interviewing Debo from Friday. To the point where God rest his soul. To the point where I built relationships with these people. I even know a couple pro hoopers. Like we're gonna make something happen. So don't even worry about it. It's gonna be lit.
Hell yeah, bro. Real shit, bro. I'm happy to see you in this lane, my boy. Happy to see you thriving in this lane too. Cause you a great dude, my boy. Let me see. I was gonna ask you I was gonna ask you, have you been to a Lakers parade? Because I know you said you've went to a Lakers.
Oh, absolutely. That was the first time in my life where I realized
Which one?
that a cell 09 and 10. But 09 is the first time I realized that a cell tower can only hold so much. So there was millions of people in the streets, bro, to where you tried to do anything on your phone, bro. That shit was just seizing up, bro. I was like, oh, you couldn't make a call. You damn near could be. It was the craziest thing I ever seen, but it was beautiful. We ended up at the LA Coliseum. It was fire, bro. It was fire.
That is really cool. I personally have never been to a Lakers parade. I was gonna go to the 2021, but COVID ruined that. And they never gave it back to us. Because I was like 11 years old during the 2010 one, but but that's why I didn't go. But anyway, Juan Stockton said best Laker of all time, and then Joe Soro said Magic Johnson. But I want to get who do you think yours best Laker of all time is?
Man, that's so. I'm gonna go with Magic Johnson. Who's my best Laker, favorite Laker? Kobe for sure. But as far as Magic Johnson came, rookie year, Finals MVP. You know what I mean? Like 5 championships in a shortened career. Because really, by year 12, Magic, I would say that was the end of Magic for the most part. You know, so Kareem, by the time they won the last 2 championships in '87 and '88 with a back-to-back, Kareem was walking up and down the court like last year Dirk Nowitzki career. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would go with Magic Johnson. I would put Kobe and Kareem and Jerry West and Shaq right after that, all together. Yeah. Because I feel like honestly, as much as I'm joking about Shaq, like if we gonna praise Kobe for being the GOAT, we gotta realize like a lot of that, and don't get me wrong, young Kobe was still a killer. Young Kobe was, I think, in the 2001 playoffs, averaging 30 points or something crazy. I seen him drop 36 in Game 3 against the Nets on the road. But at the same time, like I feel like he didn't get the same chance to put in the same body of work as somebody like the Magic, who came from day one, had the ball in his hands, had a chance. Kobe, who came on a stack team, had a little more time to develop. So Magic Johnson is an excellent answer for that.
Absolutely. Great answer, Joe. And I would agree. I would say, like, if I had to pick the greatest Laker of all time, I'd choose Magic. My favorite, like how you said, my boy, is definitely Kobe. Like we were talking about, he's the reason I got into hoops. But, people always talk about how Magic Johnson, like, not only for the Lakers, but like he like revived the NBA. Like he made the NBA. Yeah. And this is one thing, like, me, like I won't lie, like I was born in 99, so shit, I'd missed all that. So for me, it's just all story or hearsay. But like, bro, I've heard from everybody that was around. And I actually even 2 summers ago, I went to Summer League and I did this like little internship. And I actually got to meet Jerry West. Like he spoke to our group.
That's fire. That's fire.
Before but before he passed away, which God rest his soul. But I actually got to meet him, and he was like speaking to us as a group, and he told us, he was like, Magic Johnson literally revived the Lakers. He was like, he took the Lakers from the league and the Lakers from a point of like death, honestly, to the point where like now everybody's tuning in and everybody's watching, and like literally showtime. So Joe Soro here said like Magic embodies the show, and I 100% agree.
Smile big. He was out there partying. Magic was LA for sure. Magic is Hollywood now. Like, yeah.
For sure, 100%, 100%. Nah, I feel that, brother. All right, brother. Well, let me see. If we have any more questions or comments in the chat, please do drop some. But if not, then I want to end out here on this last segment. And what I'll do is I'm going to give you some players, okay? And I want you and the chat to basically tell me like yeah or not, like if we should go after them. So I have a
Okay.
list of players here. You just tell me like yeah we should, or and if you want to like expound on, like, you want to add anything on it, please feel free, brother. Like I said, this is as much as your platform, if anything, bro. So that's cool with you?
Let's do it.
All right, bet. Let's do it. Anybody in the chat, y'all could join in too. Right now, we have 17 people in here with us, man. Appreciate all y'all being here. What's going on, Zach? Zach here in the chat. Zach always come around. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. We already talked about this player, so but I'll still get your take. But Nick Claxton, what you think?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Probably worth making a move. What about another player I've heard about is Naz Reid? What do you think about Naz Reid?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I want to chat on that a little bit. So I think that Naz Reid could be a good option, but my only thing that I kind of have some worries for Naz Reid is that I don't think he's as much as like a lob threat that we need, because that big,
and he's out. I mean to cut you off. He plays the perimeter a lot too.
yeah, absolutely right. And I think it's good that he plays the perimeter because it'll help us stretch the floor. But I think part of what Luka Doncic needs is he needs like an elite lob threat, like someone that every single time after they set the pick, when they're rolling to the hoop, the defense at least has to be like, damn, like this might be a lob, so let me play back. Because once that happens, like once the defense is deciding on, oh, do I stay with the roll man that's rolling to the hoop, or do I tag on Luka? Like once the defense is deciding that, that's when Luka gets the teams in blenders, and then now he just making a decision based on what the other the defender is. And
yeah, read and react.
Exactly, read and react. There we go. So I just don't know if Naz Reid would provide that as much. Like Naz Reid would be a great, pick and then pop, fade out to the three, pick and pop. But I just think that, I'd rather have an option where we have the roll man and then maybe someone that can shoot. Maybe they won't shoot as good as Naz Reid, but me personally, I don't know if I'd go after Naz Reid. I don't know.
Is Naz Reid a free agent?
I believe he is going to be a free agent at the end of the season.
And we probably can't afford him anyway. But what I will say is this: I feel like the Lakers offseason, we got to get 2 centers. So I feel like there would be nothing wrong with Naz Reid. But I don't know if he's a free agent. I don't even know right off my head. I don't think we're going to get him. But yeah, I'm down for Daniel Gafford or Nick Claxton. And then whoever we can get the feeling. And this is the crazy part. I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to sound crazy, but whatever. I would have kept Jackson Hayes as a backup. Right. I think he was done with the Lakers. Yeah, he became unplayable in that Timberwolves series. He became extremely unplayable. When he did that goaltending in game 3 or 4, I said, oh yeah, this dude, he's not even confident no more. Like the ball was coming way down. He slapped it. I said, yeah, he's done. But the chemistry him and Luka built on the offensive end in the regular season, which is nowhere near the same. Don't get me wrong, nowhere near the same. But that's a capable backup. I've seen a capable back, but yeah, he got so unplayable. Not even just in the playoffs. It was like towards the end of the season, like the last week or two, almost starting that Golden State game that we lost. He kind of started falling apart, but I feel like a lot of that probably had to do with confidence, because there's no way you can go from being this guy that's 8 for 8 from the field, damn near every game, lobbing everything. Right. He was putting shit in the back. I could make a Jackson Hayes highlight right now from last season and make him look like he was killing shit. You know what I mean? That's how many real type plays he was putting on. But so I would say a comparable backup of something like what Jackson Hayes was giving us. I just don't see that being somebody like Naz Reid, because it's hell of expensive. So, but yeah, I would love to take Naz Reid. I would love Nick Claxton. I would love Daniel Gafford. But my main priority, would be Claxton or Gafford.
Claxton and Gafford. Okay, cool. And then I'm gonna go back real quick, because what we were just talking about, that Shaq and Kobe thing. Joe, I love this comment, Joe. He said Shaq and Kobe carry the Lakers. I love this because, to your point, you were talking about earlier, my boy, is like, Kobe kind of needed Shaq, but Shaq needed Kobe. Like Kobe got so many like second chance points and got so many in because the defense was so worried about Shaq. But at the same time, the defense was so worried about Kobe blowing by, and then help side would come, Kobe dumping it off, quick, easy dunk. So I think, Joe, great point right here. I think they both carry each other.
And I'm a 3P nerd. So I'm gonna give who did he respond to? I'm gonna give Brian Green some credit too, though, because the last two championships, I would give Kobe and Shaq almost like 1A, 1B type. The first one Shaq did carry him to. But game 7 against Portland, we don't even make it to the finals if it's not for Kobe Bryant and Brian Shaw. So, yeah, Shaq was the most dominant in 2000 and probably really because I think Kobe only averaged like 15 points in the finals. Even and he had that 28-point game 4 where he took over, and he still only averaged about 15 points in the finals in 2000. But by 2001, Kobe was Kobe. You know what I mean? So and then even in 2000 in games, he still had a good playoff showing. The finals, Shaq really dominated, but go look at that game 7 versus Portland.
Absolutely. Now, I will say I was 2 at the time, but I cannot go back and watch that for sure. And I agree with all that, and I definitely agree with all that you had mentioned. But all right, no, I just wanted to get to that because I always have a big problem. People say that Kobe carried or Shaq carried. I think it was they both equally really helped each other, and that's what made us three-peat, honestly. So
for sure, man.
But let's get back to the players, my boy. So again, yeah or no for if you want us to go after this player. What about a name I've heard a lot, and he's probably going to be off the Celtics this season, is Kristaps Porzingis.
No,
me too. Thank you, bro. Granted, he's a good roll man and can stretch the floor and can be a lob threat, but he was out with an illness nobody knew about. What? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, bro. So honestly, me personally, I cannot want to go after Kristaps Porzingis. So
I almost don't want nobody with any injury history, which I know sounds stupid and not realistic, but I'm not Kristaps. I don't want, because that'll be so frustrating. Like, the last thing we need is a center out getting hurt or something like that. Like, I don't even want Joel Embiid. Right? I'm good. I'm totally good. Totally good.
Me too.
I got a funny answer to something you asked earlier. You know who's the perfect superstar to put with Luka Doncic?
Talk to me.
A healthy Anthony Davis.
That would be amazing. That would be perfect. You hella funny. Yeah, I mean, shit, that fits everything. Could give us that rim protection. Could give us the lob threat. Could shoot.
Oh yeah, shout out Rodell. I'm sorry I cut you off. They killing it in the chat right now. He sure did sprain his ankle, so that sure did hurt his averages. Good shit.
Let me see. In the finals against Patriot Kobe sprained his. Yeah, absolutely, man. Shout out Rodell. Jalen Rose did a dirty play. I wouldn't hold that. Hey, that's real. That is real.
Yeah, no, that definitely hurt his average a little bit.
Absolutely. All right, my boy. Let's go ahead and keep it going. What about Jonathan Isaac?
I like Jonathan Isaac, and I like Jonathan Isaac as a player. Not so much his personal values, but I like Jonathan Isaac, man. I've seen Jonathan Isaac give LeBron hella fits. So if he can do that with LeBron James, and he can do that with Anthony Edwards, or I would like Jonathan Isaac. I would trade him out for one of our wings for sure.
Yeah, honestly, we were actually talking about this the other day with Joe and Gerald and some other people that we go on a stream with, and we were talking about, like, if we can somehow get a package to over there with Orlando Magic, like if we can bring Jonathan Isaac, they'll provide us that rim protection. He can definitely be a lob threat. He can also stretch the floor a little bit. But what I'm really thinking is if we bundle that up with like a Cole Anthony or Anthony Black, right, or just one of those good young players, because they got Jalen Suggs, like preferably Anthony Black in my opinion, because Anthony Black, he's really young right now. I don't think he's like at his peak value yet, so we can get him early, and he's like a 6'6", like 1-2 guard, and he's a great defender, so we can put him like next to Luka, let him develop his game as he goes.
You on that NBA league pass, my boy. Most people couldn't even tell you nothing about Anthony Black or Cole Anthony Pass.
Anthony Black is that guy, bro. Anthony Black is that guy, bro. I'm gonna be honest, bro. But yes, I am 100% the league pass.
Or Suggs too. While we at it, Suggs,
right?
Suggs.
Real shit, bro. Real shit. Honestly, that whole Orlando team, bro, they got some great like lockdown perimeter defenders that we could really use. So, in my opinion, like I'd really, really want to see that.
Bro, I watched League Pass so much, bro, that I was convinced Franz Wagner was one of the best NBA players I've seen in my life, bro.
Look, so I did a video, bro, like 2 years ago, bro. I'll send it to you after we're done here. I did a video 2 years ago talking about like, should the Orlando Magic just build around Franz Wagner? And granted,
bro, that dude is sick.
right? Granted, I think now they should do it around Paulo and him,
Yeah.
but still, like, bro, like I'm gonna be, and I caught a lot of hate for that, but I'm saying like not a lot of people are watching these teams,
Yeah.
and Franz is really that guy. But I
They're
agree,
not watching. If you got something bad to say about Franz Wagner on the offense, then you're not watching him.
right,
That
bro?
dude
He's a
is.
6'9",
He killed us
basically.
twice this year, 35 and effortless.
Right, bro. He can literally operate out the post. He can bring the ball up court. He's just like a 6'9" like guard, realistically, bro. Like, so no, I'm right there with you, bro. I love League Pass. I'm a League Pass warrior, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm the type where I'm watching freaking like I'm watching Pistons versus the
Those
Hornets.
names you threw out, I can tell. Those names you threw out, I can tell.
I'm watching it all, brother. No, I hear you. All right. So let's see here. What about Mark Williams, the trade that got rescinded? Would you want us to go after him or no?
Nah. More because of the injury history and his defensive liabilities. I feel like if we're looking for personnel that's going to be good physicality and be able to hide Luka with strong defensive presence inside and perimeter, Mark Williams is counterproductive to all that. And when he first got traded, I'm watching the highlights and I'm seeing like the 35-point game and all that, but that's not what we need. Yeah, between injury history, defensive liabilities, I'm good on Mark Williams. And now he out there talking crazy every chance he gets. So
every chance he get, he trying
stay
to
your ass over there, boy.
He's praying on our downfall, bro. When we lost, he had something to say. I'm like, man, you already at home talking to us. What you talking about?
Yeah, like that don't make, you got to stay professional, man. At the end of the day,
exactly. Hassan, we talked about Slim Luka earlier in the stream. So if you want to like go back, maybe I think around like the 20-minute mark. But we were just talking about how Slim Luka is really going to be a whole different Luka, man. Might fuck around and win MVP this year. We'll see, because him coming in the season, him coming in shape this season is a huge deal.
Oh,
so.
It's all set up for Luka to win it. I guarantee by the time the betting odds come out, Luka will be the odds-on favorite to be MVP next year.
Absolutely. Okay, bet. Let's keep it pushing. You already said this guy's name, but I just want to give you the chance if you want to add anything to it. But Daniel Gafford.
I want Daniel Gafford.
Me
for
too.
Sure.
Me too. We saw.
I think.
Go ahead. You good?
I think he's going to be so attainable because I think that the Mavericks are invested into Lively, and Lively is up right now, I believe, to resign, and you don't have to cut the bait. And it's crazy because Lively's better. Don't get me wrong, but maybe I'm just going off of last year's playoff and obviously Luka making him look better, but. Yeah, Gafford is at least the real deal from a personnel standpoint to what the Lakers need, especially if they're willing to invest maybe a vet minimum or like a qualifier into to get a backup center pretty much.
Agreed. No, I'm right there with you, bro. And I also think, kind of like how you mentioned, it might just be like the perfect situation because the Mavs want to build with Lively and build with and also they still have AD, right? You're not going to just put AD in the bench in that corner. So they still got AD, right? So bringing on Gafford, might make a lot of sense. But next player that we got here is Walker Kessler. How do you feel about Walker Kessler?
I think I'm good on Walker Kessler.
Okay.
I just feel like truthfully, that's almost like what I was talking about on my takes with the wing players we got now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, what's Walker Kessler? Is he a Lakers fan? Is Joe a Lakers fan?
Joe is a Lakers fan. Yep.
Joe probably pissed. He's seen what we seen, bro. Franz Wagner could not miss against the Lakers this year. But yeah, no, I think I'm good on Walker Kessler, bro. I think I'd rather have the package of wings we got.
Okay. Yep. All right. Now I respect that. Another name that we have here, I've heard a lot is and you mentioned him earlier, but Steven Adams. How do you feel about Steven Adams?
I like Steven Adams, bro. I really like Steven Adams. Like I said, I feel like he played above what anybody expected this year. So now him being a free agent, especially like towards the end of the season in the playoffs, bro. So I'm like, are we going to be able to get him? Like, I mean, he's still over 30 something. So I'm hoping we can sign like a Steven Adams. I think that would be great. Like, especially with his size and then just general, I feel like people just intimidated by Steven Adams.
Bro, that's real shit, bro. I'm going to be honest, bro. Like, I remember, and I'm just going to bring this up here because it's funny, but I remember one time when I was playing in the game And I went to the hoop a couple times, got a couple lays, and this one nigga knocked me on my ass. Like, I shit hurt so bad, bro. And I swear to you, I kept driving sometimes, but every single time for the rest of that game, I'm looking out for bro.
About him,
right? I'm even if bro on the bench, I'm looking out for bro, to be honest with you. And that's kind of like how I feel about Steven Adams. Like, him being such like that, big bro, like everybody talks about him being so like one of the strongest players in the league. He sets really strong screens. Like, when you have a player like that on your team, bro, like, you just puff out your chest a little bit more. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you just feel like, oh man, like I'm ready for whatever. Cause you know what I'm saying? If you say anything, hey, big bro, come up here, holla at bro right here. You know what I'm saying? So I agree. I think if we can get Steven Adams for the right deal, bro, like that'll be a great player for a great addition for us. Absolutely. All right, bet. All right, cool. So last three players that we have here, brother. First one is Clint Capella. How do you feel about Clint Capella?
I like Clint Capella. I actually do. And obviously he's a certified lob threat. I do see him as a cool little bridge center. Like, if we can't get Claxton or Gafford, you know what I mean? Like, just to bridge us along, till we can find what's next. I wouldn't mind Capella. There's not going to be a lot of centers I'm going to say no to unless they got a lot of injury history, though. So I'll preface with that.
Okay, for sure. I like that. So then let me get away from the centers then. Let me give you not a center player. What about Gary Trent Jr.? I've heard his name going on around the Lakers rumors.
I would like Gary Trent Jr. The only thing is, I feel like he's like a rich man Gabe Vincent sometimes, except obviously he handles it more. And when he goes on a heater, they are real heaters. And he's a defender too. I would take Gary Trent Jr. Yeah, he got better defense.
Gary Trent, I like that.
I'll take Gary Trent Jr.
Okay. And then this guy's name is kind of hard to pronounce, but the guy from the Hawks, Oneka.
I know who you're talking about. I know your boy, or I don't know if it's your boy. Once somebody was brought him up yesterday. I say yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, hey man, there. You know what I'm saying? There you have it. For everybody that's been in here in the chat. Appreciate all you guys, man. Like I said, man, me and my boy here from the Lakers room, we got into a lot of, Lakers offseason talk, Lakers trade talks, Lakers rumors. We talked about the Lakers previous season. And we answered all y'all questions here in the chat, man. So appreciate all you guys being here. I do want to give one quick last shout out to my boy, man. My boy, I really appreciate you coming on here with me, bro. Sharing.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. And I'd love to do this more with you, during the regular season. Like, love to, hop on more with you, or even during the during off season here. He said, Joe Sorrell said you need to come on the next show. There you go, my boy. You got an invite to the next show.
Yeah, let's get to it anytime, bro.
There we go. All right, I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna connect you up with everybody so you can come on the next show as well. But like I said, man, appreciate you being here, and everybody that was here in the chat. Please do support my guy on Instagram. It's at Lakers Room, and then mine is at Lakers_corner.
And see, yeah, I got a shout out. Rodell be having the facts. Gary Trent Jr. dropped 30 twice in this year's playoffs. I didn't even know that.
There you go. There you go. Rodell coming through. I ain't gonna lie. If you start coming through to a lot more streams, brother, you'll see Rodell's always here. So always got to show love to the chat. Rodell, Brian, Joe, everybody.
Yeah, shout out all y'all, man. Yeah. And follow. We collaborate on a lot of posts on Instagram. I use TikTok too. I'm trying to get the hang of and YouTube. I'm trying to get the hang of Twitter though.
Hell yeah. Go support my boy and all those, man. But he said you earned it the second I saw the jersey.
Oh yeah, it's a super limited edition. I think they did it one night at the Dodgers game, and I got the Black Mamba night.
Yeah. That is one thing about Joe. Our boy Joe, he's a big time Lakers fan, but he's a huge Dodgers fan. Like, he actually has a playback that he does for the Dodgers page. So he's always streaming during Dodgers games, doing post game. So yeah, our boy Joe loves the Dodgers.
Are you cool with the diehard Lakers fans and the diehard Dodgers fans?
Well, on Instagram, on Instagram. I know him through Instagram. I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta link them up for sure.
Yeah. No, I need to get on the stream with some of them guys too, man. But anyway, appreciate everybody being here, man. Like I said, make sure y'all go show love to my boy at Lakers Room and follow Lakers Corner. Stay tuned for more content from the Lakers, both from my channel and my boy's channel. But for now, we out of here, y'all. Appreciate y'all being here with us.
Yes, sir, bro.